Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to you, wherever you're tuning in from. This is Baraton TV, here and hereafter. And once again, this is exclusive SABU panel. This is the only place you can have this important conversation between us and the aspirants of various posts. Tonight, we're having foreign academics and foreign affairs. And of course, in this, we are going to take a lot of time to ensure that we have the right people working for the right post. This is the most crucial post, and therefore expect most important conversation. My name is Arasen Oksinde, and of course I'm not alone. I'm with my co-host. He's going to introduce himself, then we are going to kick off right away.
Thank you so much. Of course, my name is Brian Osieku. Welcome, viewers. This is going to be hot. We are going to serve it hot and hotter.
All right, and as you can see, these are the panelists that we have tonight. We're going to have them introduce themselves one by one. Take your time, give us your name, and of course, we'll give you what follows after.
Yeah, thank you. My name is James Wanyonyi Simiyu. I'm a nursing student, third year, and it's my pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Helen Marriott Wandie. I am an aspirant for CS Academics, and it is nice being here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Fred Ongangi Ombui, a student from the School of Humanities, Education, Humanities and Social Sciences from the Department of Education, aspiring CS Academics and Foreign Affairs. Thank you.
All right, and that takes us to the next item on the table. We're going to ask them a very simple question. What makes this post very important? What makes it very important? In fact, if I could gauge it with any other post, I would say that this is the most important docket. What makes it important? Look, Ombui.
Thank you very much. What makes this post very important? In fact, if it were not academics, I, Fred Ombui, and all Baratonians, including the lecturers, including the students, could not have been here. It is through academics that we are here so that we can get other things apart from academics. But the main agenda for us to be here in these institutions is academics. Yeah.
Let's have Helen add something to that.
Okay, I'd say this docket is very important because the sole reason why universities have been founded is because of our careers and our education. And so without education, we would not be here. And also we all know that education is our key to unlock a lot of opportunities in life. And so it is education that enables us to rise and reach and attain levels that we had never thought we could. So this is a very important docket, which is there education for survival, education for existence.
Yeah, thank you so much. To me, according to my perception, academics and foreign affairs is a very essential docket because it is the field that hosts the main objective of each and every student in this particular university. Personally, I do say it is a field that holds the life of each and every student in this particular university. So it is a very interesting field that I personally anticipate and continue to anticipate to be in and to be part of it, to ensure that the mental stability of students as far as the expectations in this university is quite intact. It's a very interesting field indeed. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And before we let this one go, I'm going to ask you to give the mic once again to Helen. And if you're elected as CS for academics and foreign affairs, you'll definitely have to engage in so many committees. Can you mention at least one committee that you'll be engaging in, and mention at least composition of that committee? Who are the people that attend that specific committee?
I am aware that if I am elected to be the CS academics, that I will be in the Academic Standard Committee. And the Academic Standard Committee is comprised of I myself, the CS academics, DVC academics, the librarian, the HODs, and also the Dean of Schools.
Right, let's have Ombui take. I'm intentionally skipping James because I know he's been there before. I would like to test and see whether the incoming, the new aspirants know about this. So James, please, sorry, James Ombui, please take us through the next committee and give us at least the composition.
Yeah. According to the SABU constitution, when I look at the responsibilities of the CS academics, the only committee that the CS academics should sit is in the Academic Standards Committee. Yeah.
All right. So you're categorically saying that the only committee that Academic Standard Committee, that the Minister for Foreign Affairs, for Academics and Foreign Affairs should sit in is Academic Standard Committee.
According to the constitution.
Okay. All right. So are you trying to say that you don't want to repeat what she has said? I'll still take that one. Let's ask the CS who's still sitting, whom you're challenging. Is that correct, what he's saying?
Yeah, thank you. As per what my colleagues have said, actually the committee that the Cabinet Secretary for Academics attend is the Academic Standard Committee meeting. However, despite that, there are some other committees that students are supposed to be represented. Like we have the IT service committee that is there. And with that committee, they usually need a particular student representative to represent the students. And the majority, mostly, it's usually the Cabinet Secretary for Academics. Like I'm also in one of it, and it's ongoing to meet its objectives. Yeah, thank you.
So CS Simiyu, are you agreeing that Academic Standard Committee is the only committee that CS sits with together with university administrators?
Yeah, sure. With the university administrators, as per the roles, is the Academic Standard Committee meeting. But these other committees is only when they need a particular student representative. So when I'm appointed, or when CS academics is appointed, he or she will have to be there. Or when it's decided that they need a CS gender, he will also, or she will also be there. So, but generally, as per the constitution, it's only the Academic Standard Committee meeting. Yeah.
Before students graduate, there is a special sitting of the Senate. This is a committee that I don't want to say what is the composition, but I would like to ask probably the CS, since you've been there. I don't know whether you've ever attended the Senate. And did you ever attend the Senate? Let me just get a response directly.
Yeah, thank you. I've attended the Senate twice.
Okay.
Yeah, University Senate.
So is that not a committee that you sit in as a Minister for Academics and Foreign Affairs?
Specifically, as per the constitution, those who are supposed to attend the University Senate is that's the president. The school president is one of them. But if I go there, it's only when I've been called upon, maybe to represent the university, the school president in his docket, or I've been called maybe to oversee one or few activities on behalf of another person. But specifically, I'm not a member, or CS Academy is not a member of the University Senate. Yeah.
Helen, do you find a problem with the constitution if the CS for academics cannot attend the Senate, yet matters being discussed in the Senate concern students, academics, and of course the grades, the missing grades, change of grades, some students don't have grades, Do you think there is a problem with that constitution, and what are you going to do when you get there?
Okay, yes, I'd say my answer is yes. I have a problem with the constitution because the constitution should have clearly stated that the CS should also be a member of the Senate committee. This is because the Senate committee, with all the roles that you have outlined, change of grade and also graduation. So since the CS academics is involved with matters academics and the Senate also deals with matters academics, he or she should be allowed to sit in such a committee. And if elected to be your CS academics, I would make sure that not only I, but it would be in the constitution together with the help of others. I'd raise it as a motion so that us as a whole, we can make people sit at the CS academic seat in the Senate committee.
All right. Thank you very much for a very good response. You're talking about amendment. So probably maybe a last question before I pass it over to, not to you, let me take Ombui before I can give the mic back to Brian. Probably what does it take for you to amend the constitution, since she mentioned that if she gets elected, do you hold the same idea that once elected, you're going to amend the constitution and have the CS for academics and foreign affairs sit in the Senate?
Definitely.
All right, so what does it take to amend the constitution?
Okay. What does it take to amend the constitution?
Especially that clause that has that would enable you to sit in the Senate, or the next CS to sit in the Senate.
Yeah. For us to amend the constitution, it involves us as the cabinet. We move the motion, and it may be me, CS Fred Ombui, once elected, pushing the motion to the parliament. The motion will be passed, and then the constitution will be amended so that it can allow the CS academics and foreign affairs to represent students in the Senate. Actually, to me, I say that it denies us some rights, because you are the one who is representing students in terms of academics. You carry their interests in terms of academics. So you need to sit in the Senate for the views of students to be heard directly, because the Constitution gives us a mandate that we should gather the views of students on areas that need improvement. So as we gather those views, they should not have another party going to represent those views in the Senate. It is good that you, as the CS academics, once you've been given this role by the Constitution, so that you can represent it directly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
At least you answered the question. You've gone overboard
Yeah.
and answered the importance of you changing the constitution. Otherwise, let me
Yeah.
take it back to Brian so he can have the second question.
Okay, thank you so much. Students are awarded different grades depending on their performance. Maybe you can just shed some light on these grades and the instances at which a student is awarded a particular grade. Yes, I'll begin with James.
Pardon your question. Students are awarded what? On what?
Okay, I just said that students are awarded grades, of course, at the end of the semester. Now, shed some light on these grades and instances at which that student will get, for example, that grade. All right?
A nice question that I've always anticipated to answer some times back. Now, for the student to get a grade, first of all, the grading scale begins with the attendance, whereby the attendance usually carries around the 5%. And for a student to get the final grade, it is usually a composition of, first of all, the attendance, we have the cards, the quizzes, and assignments, the mid-semesters, and of course the final exam. And that will make a student to get that particular grade. And there are some cases whereby you get a particular student is getting this grade and this one, another one. The variation is the grades, depends with the input of a particular student in his or her attribute as per the expectations of the course outline. And again, there are some cases where you get students getting, let's say, an F or a DG, or maybe sometimes back we are having a UE, but right now it's not there. An F is gotten by a student when, first of all, this student misses, for example, a cut. Currently, when a student misses a cut or a mid-semester or has not met the expectation of that particular course, he or she will get an F. Another thing that will make a student to get an F is when a student misses 15% of the attendance. When you miss 15% of the attendance of that particular course expectations, you get an F. Another particular situation whereby a student can get an F is whereby this particular student has missed, let's say, a final examination. He or she is able and eligible to attend and do the final examination, but to get this student, for example, in the academic bulletin is stated, if a student misreads the timetable, it's clearly stated that this particular student will have to get an F and retake the course. It's documented in the academic bulletin. And which are these courses that a student can get, let's say, a DG? A student can get...
Please, I would like you to maybe share, because the points are being exhausted. Maybe let's have someone else explaining to us why you'd get a DG, and of course, if there's any other grade or any other form of grade, it can be explained by the next contestant.
Okay. I'd want to say I am aware of it's a repetition, but I'd like just to